What's up everyone, my name is Anissa Fudge and this is Fudge Creations. Today I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about my artwork, how I got into art, and what my style of art is today. So we're going to talk about my first piece that's in my studio that I did when I was 15 years old. It's called If You Saw My Dreams, and I'm big on dreams. I love to go to sleep and I love to dream, and a lot of the dreams that I remember are crazy scary. I've had so many like nightmares, and I know that sounds bad, but dreams tell a lot about your life and what's going on. They can tell you the future, they can tell you about your past or what's going on right now in your present. And so this one was a little creepy for me. I had a creepy dream. I'm not going to go into details about that, but that's the reason why I chose to do this picture. The medium for this picture is oil pastel and watercolor. Watercolor was done for the background. Once that got dry, I started with my oil pastels and, put everything where it needed to be. And this is what really brought me into the art world. This is what really brought me out in high school. Everyone knew me as the artist at my high school, and so I think this is the picture that really took me there. This next piece that I'm going to get into is a two-piece with the hands and the rope, and I titled this piece, Does It Take One or Does It Take All? And so basically you can turn this piece any way you want to. You can make it look as if there's three hands pulling this one person up, or there's one hand pulling three people up. And basically this piece talks about the entire world, and when I think about certain characters that we read about, we talk about Martin Luther King. We talk about, if we want to be biblical, we can get into Moses setting his people free. Will it take one person to pull us out of chaos, or are we better when we work together? That's the way I wanted you to look at this piece. That's the way I wanted all my viewers to look at this piece. And so it just makes you think. And so I'm really big on that. And so that's how I wanted to go with the piece. And with it representing the world, I chose to use the background colors, red and blue, to kind of symbolize America in a sense, the different shades of the skin tone. So it's not just about, a specific race. It's about all races. Does it take one of us? Does it take all of us? Can we come together? Can we find a solution to make the world a better place? And so I think this piece right here made me take off in a propaganda type of way, political standpoint, but it really led me into being more colorful with my art, and that leads me into talking about my style of art that I do today, which is pop art. So I love painting people. I love capturing beauty and the different styles of people and their uniqueness. And so with this piece, one of my latest pieces that I created, I don't have a title to it yet, but this woman here, I thought she was glowing when I found her picture on the internet, and so I decided to paint her, add my own little style and touch to it. And so I went with the pop of color. I went with the details of the hair. I wanted to do something that would still capture a lot of detail. More of a painting that looked digital, but that's not digital. And so I went with that. And with the shadows and the highlights, I chose to use just darker browns rather than making the paint fade, into a color, trying to make it look super realistic. I wanted to give it that cartoon look, that pop look. And so when you put this on a t-shirt, or when you put this on your wall, it just pops, it stands out of everything. And so that's what I'm really trying to do with my artwork today. I want it to stand out because I want to stand out as an artist. So I followed along with these other two pieces here, this man and this woman. They're kind of like a couple. They kind of like go together, and I wanted them to look as though they're looking at each other. And so kind of going with the same vibe, sticking with the splashes, the pops of color, their very vibrant colors, and still trying to capture the details. Even looking at, the fade I did on this guy here, like that was like a proud moment. I definitely wanted to get the hair right. I always want to get the hair right. Looking at the baby hairs on the female, like I want to make sure I capture all of those to make it as realistic but still give it that digital vibe at the same time. And so with this, the funny story behind the dots, I know if you look at these pictures, you're going to see these white dots splattered all over the painting. And that's something that I want people to kind of know my art from. You know, when you look at paintings, you're going to know just by the style. Like if you look at a Van Gogh, you're going to know by the impressionism in that painting that, okay, yeah, that's Van Gogh. You're going to know by the mark making. That's Van Gogh. And so I definitely, when you see mine, I want you to be like, oh yeah, that's Fudge Creations right there. You see these little white marks? That's hers. Funny story. I had a paint marker and I was shaking it up, and then all these dots just went over the painting. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be able to fix that. Like, there was no way I was going to fix it, and I didn't want to cover it up. I didn't feel like mixing the paint again, so I was like, you know what? It don't look bad. So let me just take the marker, and I literally started just, and it looked great. So I went with it, started doing it with all my paintings now. And so that's like my mark making. That lets you know that this is my artwork, you know? So that leads me into the next picture I did of a young man that I also found off Google. Just really wanted to capture, you know, okay, let's get some body into it. I'm painting these portraits and it's mostly everybody's face. I got the frontal view, I got the side view. Let's get some body into it. So I wanted to paint a man. I did not start off painting guys like that at first. So I really want to start capturing more men in my paintings. And so I just decided to go with this one, another pop art painting. And of course you can see the white dots, but I'm really intrigued by the texture of his hair, the swirls, letting you know that this is nappy hair, some curly hair in there. So I definitely like drawing things like that. I love drawing hair, I love drawing the beards, and putting those little white marks in there with my white paint marker to kind of create that realism and almost create a sense of texture. Like if you were to touch this, you're going to feel those little pricks of hair that are on his face. And so those are the spots that stand out to me the most in this painting, and that's why I love it so much. Now, this next painting that I want to get into is more personal. This is definitely a personal piece, and every now and then I like to experiment with art, try something new, because I feel like if you stay in the same area of art, if I stay using the same mediums, I can't grow. I consistently want to grow with my artwork and try new things. And so I got into pour painting. And so I wanted to, you know, I had the sketch that I did of an elephant. Elephant's my spirit animal. I love elephants. They're beautiful. And so I had the sketch that I did of an elephant, and I incorporated a woman into that elephant. And the third eye, like this one was a very deep picture to me, and I titled it The Third. So the third eye chakra, getting into all of that, you know, knowledge is key, and so that's when you're aware of everything, you know. I won't go into, you know, any details. I want to stick with the painting, but so basically pour painting was used, acrylic pour paint was used for the medium. And I used a straw when doing this. This painting probably took me like a month to do. And I wish I had filmed me actually doing this, because what I did was I just poured the paint, and I would take this paper straw and I would blow into it. And when I did that, it sort of created this little essence of fire almost, with the blues. It looks like blue fire, or like some blue smoke. And I went with the blue and I went with the gold because I knew those colors would contrast and really pop with each other. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to take this marker, I'm going to draw out my little sketch that I did, and it's an elephant with a woman incorporated. So we take a look, we can see the outline of the elephant's ears and the outline of the elephant's tusk. And the tusks are actually the female's legs that are coming down. And then you see the trunk of the elephant that goes in between. And you can look deeply. If you look closely, you see the eyes of the elephant. Like this picture is one that I want people to sit and look at. And I usually ask people, what do you see when you look at this painting? A lot of people see the eye first, they see the elephant first. So it's sort of like an illusion as a painting, but it has such a deep meaning to me. Elephants symbolize wisdom. They symbolize strength, stability. They're beautiful, graceful creatures. And the woman, I'm all about female empowerment. And so as a woman, that's what I want to represent. I want to represent that spirit that the elephant gives off. And with the third eye, I want to represent that knowledge, that I've gained. And so this one right here will always be one of my most prized possessions, my famous pieces. And so, yeah, this is Fudge Creations, and this is what I represent. This is what I want to stand for. So you're going to see a lot more pop art from me, and you may see a lot more of these experimental pieces from me. It just really depends on how I'm feeling, what mood I'm in, and what the people want. I want to know what my viewers want as well from me. What would you like for me to experiment? Who would you like for me to draw? What style do you want me to get into? But pop art is definitely where it is as of now. Stay consistent with as an artist. You just want to perfect your craft. And so anytime I can get some time where I can just sit back, whether I'm chilling at work and I don't have much to do, I'm going to pull out the sketchbook. I don't have any basic sketchbooks. I used to. I started off with that. I am a big ancient history geek, and so I love ancient looking books. And so my sketchbooks, I keep them looking ancient because that makes people more intrigued to find out what's inside of them. So anytime a person comes in my studio or they see me drawing in my sketchbook, they're just like, what kind of book is that? And so I definitely want that to capture their eye, and I say, oh, it's my sketchbook. And then boom, there you go, flipping through all my sketches right then and there. I love to draw people. So I'm always drawing people in my sketchbook, trying to capture the realism. I usually stick with mixed media. For my sketches, they're not just basic like pencil, not basic graphite. And so I'm going to start off using my graphite pencil, and then I may use markers, I may use paint, I may use paint pens, paint pencils, paint markers, excuse me, and just kind of add those highlights and shadows, because even in my sketchbooks, I want things to still pop. People are going to have things in their sketchbook, oh, okay, this is cool, a nice little drawing. Boom, I still want it to pop, because I can take my sketches, get a good photo of those, we can get it printed out on canvas, and boom, there you have it. It looks just like a painted work of art. So it's just all about perfecting my craft and what I want to do. It's about representing the people, but it's about representing different cultures as well. I also want to capture different cultures and different lifestyles of people. So that's what my sketches are all about. So welcome to my channel, Fudge Creations, and I hope you love my artwork, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you and getting more experimental with my artwork with you all. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, okay? Fudge Creations, once again, I am Anissa Fudge, your new artist to YouTube.